All right, welcome back to the podcast. Today, I'm meeting a new person, a local photographer, actually global. He spends a lot of time here in the Baja, and I wanted Ben on the podcast because I've seen your pictures many times, and specifically at the Bahia Hotel.
Yep.
And the manager over there, Cesar, was telling us that you did all those photos outside the lobby and around the restaurant.
Almost everything in the hotel. Yeah, and in Sur as well.
Oh, Sur also.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, they look very similar.
Yeah.
Is that very typical, the black and white kind of photography?
For me, it is. I think, especially with the aesthetic of the homes down here and living in a place that's already so vibrant, the black and white just seems to work better, in my opinion.
Yeah. So Ben, tell everyone a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? And
Where I'm from, I'm trying to figure out a good answer to that question because I was born in Bermuda and then at 9 moved to Colorado, and then Colorado was home base, but I lived in Costa Rica, Indonesia, New Zealand, Hawaii. I was all over the place.
why were you moving around so much?
At 18, I got the bug to travel and see the world. And before that, my brother was in Costa Rica, so I'd go down there and spend 3 or 4 months out of the year in Costa Rica. My parents were missionaries when I was really, really young, so that explains Bermuda.
Okay.
But after that, it's just, I think it was just part of the family's way of living to keep traveling around.
Okay. Got it. And you live here full time or just part time?
Part-time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where's home when you're not here?
So my dog has a house in Midway, Utah.
All right. Got it. Midway, Utah, part of the year here.
Yep.
Are you splitting it 50-50?
I'm just kind of following the flow. I say my dog has a house in Midway, Utah, because I have no work up there.
Nowhere.
I have a cabin in the woods. It's an A-frame cabin in the woods. You can't even see other houses from where I live. I go there just to edit, be with my dog, paraglide, snowboard, whatever.
Right on. Right on. And what brought you to the Baja for the first time?
So, I've been traveling down here for a long time, and originally it was for surf. Just coming down from Los Angeles, I lived there for a little while as well. And then I started coming down with my friend Lizzie, who lived and worked at the Bahia for a while. So she was the one that convinced me to do the full drive. Around that same time, I sailed it for the first time. And immediately I was just like, okay, this place has everything that I need. All of the exploration, the isolation, the raw realness of it. But then you can also go out to, a fancy restaurant and get a 5-star meal after you're done. So that's what I love about it.
So when you were contracted to do the photography at the Bahia and Sur, how many years ago was that?
Oh, I think Sur was probably 8 years ago. The work that's in the Bahia, I shot about 6 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago.
And were those the first jobs that you did here locally, or were you doing other work?
I had done some other work. So the photos that are in the Bahia are a mix of when I first came down here with my friend Lizzie. I was shooting something. I had my own agency at the time. I was shooting for a few brands on that drive. And then also a couple of subsequent shoots that came after that. And then through that, I started working with the Tourism Bureau, different hotels around town, and selling my art.
All right. And before that, were you just coming here on vacations and surfing excursions?
Pretty much. I said that I'd sailed the Baja. I sailed the Sea of Cortez, trying to photograph sperm whale. I have a long history of working with National Geographic. So I came down here in search of the wildlife. A lot of my work started with sharks. So I was also kind of looking for places to swim with the sharks out here. And a lot of those projects they start out as personal projects, but then they end up becoming a story or something that I can earn a living from.
Okay. So Nat Geo, obviously well known. Did you do a lot of work with them?
I have done a lot of work with them. You know, it's interesting because they've changed hands so many times over the last 10 years. It's hard to say like, oh, am I still a part of this? Am I not? But I've traveled the world with them. I crossed the Arctic by dog sled for National
No way.
Geographic. I spent months and months and months living on an uninhabited island for National Geographic.
Whereabouts?
Cocos Island, about 300 miles off the coast of Costa Rica.
Okay.
And then I went to Mongolia for them, and Haiti, and Nepal. And, I'm sitting here thinking like, I think my career with National Geographic's over. And, just this morning I get an email. So it's one of those things that comes and goes.
Yeah. When they contact you, it's typically go to this destination for a disclosed amount of time or undisclosed amount of time. How does that work?
90% of the projects that I've done with them are my own projects. I go to them and I say, hey, I want to work here. I want to work on this project, or I have this story. And I get a certain amount of funding, and I tell them I think I'll be done in a year.
A year.
Yeah,
So you go
sometimes.
for long periods of time.
The shark story I shot in Costa Rica really took place over the course of about 3 years. I think I got most of it done in a year, but then I started going to other places around Costa Rica, and I would go back to try to get more and tell different parts of the story. So, I spent way more than I ever made on that story, but out of that, I ended up getting a TV show. So,
What TV show was that?
it's called Extreme China, and it's about me using extreme sports to photograph wild places and cultures in the middle of nowhere in China.
Still airing now, or
It's still on TV, but I'm not filming anymore right now.
Was it just one season, or?
It was 2 seasons,
Yeah.
and then it kind of ended around COVID.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
Yeah, but I have gone back since then and done some single episodes for National Geographic, but not under the same title.
Okay, so Nat Geo, it's mainly your ideas, your passion projects. You pitch it to them, and they fund you.
So the way that it really works, people ask me all the time, how do I do this? I say, you have to be the only person in the world with access. You have to be able to tell the story. And, they can't just hand that story over to somebody more famous, some other photographer that wants it.
Yeah.
Because it has to be yours.
Yeah.
And that only happens by really having a passion and a connection to it.
Yeah. And so, how many projects do you think you have done over the years with them?
Probably 6 or 7. Yeah.
And if it's not Nat Geo, I mean, this is just still photography or videos?
I shot some video as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
But your specialty is still
The specialty is still, and I'll do video if I have to.
Okay.
I've shot TV shows. It doesn't connect to me very well.
Got it.
I don't think the way that a videographer thinks.
All right. Have you ever photographed houses, buildings,
I'm
architecture?
actually just getting more into architecture. My girlfriend is an architect.
Okay.
So she kind of talked me into it. And I've had a number of jobs where I should have been doing it all along.
Yeah.
So over the last few years, I've really focused more on architecture, and I want to call them spaces and the way that people connect to those spaces. So for me, it's photographing the light, the way it comes into a room, and what you would see if you walk into the room and you say, hey, this is a space that I could spend time in.
Yeah.
I want to show why, which is very different than just showing like, this is how big it is, and this is how many people you can fit in it. But obviously, I do both.
Okay. And when you are down here, are you working?
Yes. Most of my work is around Cabo a lot of the time.
What kind of work are you doing besides hotels and restaurants?
I go out into nature with the model and I shoot art.
Okay.
I'm guiding a trip into Magdalena Bay in about a week.
For the whales?
To see the whales and the marlin. And I'm taking some people in there that want to see what it's like to go photograph marlin feeding on a bait ball.
I've never heard
of
about
this?
that. No.
I'll show you some pictures afterwards, but there's a sardine run, and then all the predators come and they start hunting the sardines. And last night that I was there, it was the sea lions, Dorado, a fin whale comes through. Absolutely just mind-blowing experiences. It looks like, if you can imagine from like a sci-fi movie, the little robots all moving in unison. That's what it looks like, but it's these fish underwater.
So when you're photographing that, you're in the water?
In the water.
Scuba gear and everything?
No scuba gear, just free diving.
Yeah.
And it's wild because you're shoulder to shoulder with these predators, and and you kind of forget about each other. You're both looking at the sardines, these big school of sardines. And at one point I had somebody kind of on my shoulder, and I look over and it's this massive sea lion, and he looks at me at the same time, and we both kind of jump. But it was just so chaotic.
Yeah.
Neither of us even noticed the other.
I can imagine in those situations, and when you're in Mongolia or in, you mentioned also, were you in, not Tibet, where were you?
Nepal.
Nepal.
Yeah.
Some scary situations, maybe some safety issues,
Oh yeah.
for example.
So I was there actually with a group of gynecologists doing a story on maternal mortality rates. And one of them stepped out of the car. She was about 65 years old. We were heading to a remote village to do some work. She stepped out of the car and fell off a 20-foot cliff. And turns out the gynecologists don't really know about how to like handle broken bones very well.
Right.
And I was an EMT, expired, but I had done work as an EMT. So I helped package her up. We get her in the car. We get back to the hotel. And camp. It was the tents outside of a hospital hotel. And we end up having to call a helicopter to get her evacuated using Global Rescue. And this helicopter, we keep waiting, and they're like, why aren't we going to get this helicopter? Why can't we, why aren't we waiting in the field where the helicopter is going to be? And finally they say, okay, the helicopter's coming, we can go now. We all hop in these four-wheel drive vehicles, and I'm thinking, this is really strange. Why aren't we taking the main road to the soccer field where I know the helicopter is going to land? We're driving this four-wheel drive road up around the back. She's got a shattered collarbone and scapula, and she's in a lot of pain. And I look out the window and down, and I see the Maoist rebels marching against the Nepali military, and they're shooting at each other back and forth. And I realize now, okay, we have a helicopter coming to land. Neither side knows whose helicopter that is.
Sure.
And so this thing lands, we hop on, and it literally just like takes off and falls off the side of the mountain. And then I got to fly right past Everest and Kanchenjunga and all the big mountains. I was looking out the window more than I was helping take care of the lady.
You guys didn't get fired on?
No. I think we were gone by the time they knew we were there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Any other cool stories like that?
Tons. Yeah.
All right, let's talk more about the Baja. You were talking about sharks.
Yeah.
Where are there areas in the Baja to photograph sharks or just see them?
So, I mean, there's a lot of pelagic species here, which are the open ocean species. So some days you'll go out, you'll start chumming, and you won't see a shark for 8 hours. They're just not around. So when you're in the water here, you don't really have to worry about sharks being around. Other times you might get out there and there's 3 just hanging out. So
like even around here?
If the water is salty, there's sharks in it.
Yeah. So they go everywhere.
They're everywhere. But there are seasons that they come in. A lot of the species are moving through. They're not really stopping here. I think, kind of where the Sea of Cortez and the Pacific meet, differences in water temperature can lead to things like plankton blooms, which bring smaller fish, which then bring the predators. I'm not one of those people that will ever be like, sharks are harmless, hop in the water. But yes, get in the water, learn about them, but get in the water. They're not harmless. You have to treat them with respect. Of course. But yeah, they're right out here. Yeah. I've had a lot of shark encounters here. I find that you have to chum to get them to come to you, which I don't love doing because that brings them in a more aggressive, feeding frenzy type mood. Whereas places like Cocos Island, you can just get in the water and they're swimming around, and you realize they're just like dogs. Yeah. You can read their body language.
Have you gone all the way up the Sea of Cortez and around and back?
I haven't gone around.
No?
No, that's on my list. I have a bunch of pins saved on Google Earth, but I haven't actually gotten down there yet.
How far up have you gone the Sea of Cortez?
All the way.
All the way?
Yeah.
And when you sailed down, was it on your own sailboat, or it was a work assignment that you were?
My brother is a boat captain, and he guided, he captained boats in the South Pacific for a number of years. And some of the guys that he worked with had boats here. So we just joined up with them as they were on their sailing trip. And I built all this stuff to try to get the photos of the sperm whales, but
How many days did it take you to get down here? Or you took the
I
time?
spent about a month on the boat.
A month?
Yeah. And on that trip, we didn't do the entire coast.
Have you gone around the world in a boat or done anything?
I wish. No. My brother's the more accomplished sailor for sure.
Uh-huh.
For his honeymoon, he sailed across the Pacific. So,
Wow. That's awesome.
yeah.
Antarctica.
I have
That's-
not, the Arctic.
The Arctic.
Yeah.
Okay, up north. Okay.
Yeah. Bears, not penguins.
Yeah. I mean, how many weeks was that?
I spent 2 months in the Arctic in -40, starting out when it was 24 hours of dark and then
Yeah.
moving into 24 hours of sunlight.
How long ago was that you did
I was early 20s.
Yeah, a
like
long time.
24.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that? And how big of a crew are you with?
7 people total. There's an Arctic explorer named Will Steger,
Mm-hmm.
and he brought a bunch of us younger explorers.
Mm.
As he's aging a little bit,
Yeah.
he wanted to introduce the Arctic to some younger explorers that could potentially take over.
Aside from nature, wildlife, what other subjects or topics do you photograph?
Variety is what keeps me excited about my career.
Mm-hmm.
But most recently, the biggest exciting thing that I've done is I just shot the 2025 Sports Illustrated Swimsuit edition.
That's amazing. Where
Yeah,
was that
awesome.
done?
I shot it in the Boca Raton. So
Okay.
there's actually a few different photographers that have shot the issues.
Mm-hmm.
And my story was in the Boca Raton on the Olympians.
Mhm.
So I got the cover. It was awesome.
No way.
Yeah.
How do you get a job like that?
I have respectfully photographed women and shown them as powerful, beautiful creatures for the last 25 years, and don't have anybody saying that I've taken advantage of them or anything like that in all of that time. So it's actually a magazine that's run by women and produced by women.
I didn't know
And,
that.
my reputation got to them, and that got me the job. Yeah.
After doing that job, have you gotten more business as a result of it?
Less.
Less. Why is that?
I think people see me as unattainable. Yeah.
Too expensive, or
Yeah, maybe too expensive, or just fewer people reach out. But I also think it's just this year. I think it's AI. I think it's AI. It's the transition of how money is working in the world right now. I find this happens every 5 or 6 years. It's just a really slow year.
How you mentioned AI? How is that affecting your industry?
I am actively preparing for it to completely take my job, the commercial side of it. And that's why I focus so hard on art. That's why I make books. That's why I'm doing this guiding, taking people with me.
Oh yes.
Is because I think as the world leans into the inauthentic, the fake, people are going to really start to want something real.
Yes.
And so I'm leaning into real, and that might hold me back for a little while. But I think that once the AI thing has kind of balanced out, maybe that'll make me special.
I think it would. I think in our industry, it's exactly that.
Yeah.
It's the hand holding, the eye to eye, shoulder to shoulder experience.
Yeah, and people are going to want to go out there and see the stuff for themselves.
Yeah.
The one thing that I really hope it doesn't do is just remove people's trust in photography.
If it's real or if it's fake.
Yeah.
Right.
So, a lot of my work is barely even edited, but I'm starting to see other people produce work that is similar in vibe, and I should say that I don't think it's taking the real estate jobs. I don't think it's taking weddings, family portraits, but it's taking the big commercial jobs that have been my career over the last.
Yeah. It's funny, I remember when I first started doing professional photography in our property listings, one house was photographed and edited too well. That every person that came through was like, oh, this isn't what I was expecting. And it actually worked against us.
Yeah.
And I see that now with AI when people send emails or they compose memos, and it's like, come on.
I like to sign my emails. I wrote this myself. Please forgive me for my humanity.
I love that. I love that because I think that's what separates us today. And in the near future and probably forever now.
I think so. I mean, I use it. It's a tool.
Yeah.
I think that some people use it as a tool and some people use it to think for them. I think it's a great tool. I'm not gonna say, do this for me.
Right. If people need to get a hold of you, what's the best way?
I mean, just Googling Ben Horton will take you to my website, Instagram, things like that. And that'll lead you down whatever channel you want. But Instagram's a great way.
Yeah.
Ben at benhorton.biz is my email.
You have a great Instagram. Do you do it yourself or?
I do it myself and I just post what I want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I stopped selling my soul to brands a long time ago. So sometimes I don't post for a month or two. If I haven't shot something interesting, you know, I don't force it.
Yeah. It's fantastic. Finishing, what is the most memorable thing in the Baja for you?
Oh man. Okay. Well,
Or you could say more than one.
Yeah, well, I have some amazing, very secret places here. And one of the things that keeps me coming back to Baja is that still exists. That you can find hidden oases with waterfalls pouring into them out of the mountains. It's still there and you can have it all to yourself. I'm not a gatekeeper. I don't try to hide those places. Like, I'm not going to tell you that they exist. But I'm not going to put a pin on Google Earth and send it to anybody either.
Right.
If you find it, I'll celebrate it with you.
Got it.
I'll be happy for you that you found it. But I think that my most memorable thing about Baja is that sense of adventure.
Yeah.
And finding those places.
Well, it sounds like you're a pioneer, right? And you're doing new things, experiencing new things, and
Trying to, yeah.
that's a big charm for the Baja for many of us. And Ben, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been great talking to you too.
Nice to meet you. And for everyone, follow him on Instagram, Ben Horton. And until the next one, bye for now.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Nick Fong Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast and the YouTube channel at youtube.com/Ronaval Real Estate. And follow Nick on Instagram at NickFong_Ronaval. Ready to find your Baja dream home? Check out the latest property listings at Ronaval.com or findmexicohouses.com. Hasta luego.